computer, and we are rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another interview for you with a fashion designer, and I will let the lady in front of your screen to introduce herself. What is your name? What is your brand?
Hello, my name is Carleen Lindsay Worrell, and I'm the CEO and owner of Carleen Lindsay Designs.
Okay, so you are at the moment actually in your studio in your boutique, correct?
Yes, I'm actually physically in my store.
Can you talk a little bit about your store? Like, do you only sell your clothes, or you sell other designer clothes? Like, how do you kind of choose? Like, if you sell other designer clothes, other than just yours, like, who should be in your store and who's not?
Okay, my store is physically Carleen Lindsay Designs clothing. So
Only you. So you don't all dresses by you, nothing
all
else.
dresses made and sold in store are my own brand.
So you never sell
As
other people. Gotcha. Okay.
No, I don't sell other people's brands, but I do alterations on other dresses, but that's just about it for anything else. But I make and sell my own brand. I don't
Makes
sell any
makes
other
sense.
brand,
Makes sense.
except for accessories.
Accessories. So you accessorize. Do you collaborate like with the like jewelry designers, like maybe heels, like like sometimes like let's say you can make a dress, but maybe someone makes like a winter coat for your dress, or like a shoes, or like a, jewelry that fits the same look and same image.
I In store in the boutique, I
You will just
don't
refer.
collaborate with different brands,
Hmm.
but I do collaborate with brands like jewelry designers or maybe shoes designers for photo shoots. But that's just about it for collaboration. Nothing
That
sold in store except my own.
makes sense. Now let's
Yes.
go back to the line of question that we actually agree upon, because this is something that I thought of extra. The first question is credibility question. So, what makes you a fashion designer? What makes you like own a boutique? Like, what kind of credential? Do you just wealthy person, or you just love fashion? Like, why do you do what you do? Did you go to school for fashion? Like, what qualifies you to have your own store? Because stores has rent, expenses. So like, why do you think that you deserve to be kind of in that business?
Well, I've been sewing over 30 years, so I'm been in the business for quite a while. Um, Coming to America now, I went to fashion schools and stuff. And after I graduated fashion
Where are you
school, I
from?
decided to.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Jamaica, born and
Okay.
raised in Jamaica,
Uh
the
huh.
island Jamaica, not Jamaica Queens. um, then came to America in 2004, went to fashion school for design, and later on to
Does it help to
FIT.
come from Jamaica, because there are so many countries in the Caribbean Peninsula, right? And the Jamaica has such a big reputation. So many artists, so many rappers come from Jamaica. Is it helpful to come like from that? Because I know people from Trinidad, I know people from Grenada, I know people from
Mhm.
all the other islands, but Jamaica has such a big like, a name. Like, I'm originally, for example, from Ukraine, right? So there are so many countries in Eastern Europe, Poland, Belarus, Romania, and so forth. But Ukraine been in the news all the time now, so I get a lot of business because of that. Even like my Russian friends, I envy. Russia is such a big country, and Ukraine in the news all the time. So I thought maybe Jamaica has also that kind of effect for people who come from that country.
Yes, there's a lot of great artistic and creative people from Jamaica. Jamaica's the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt's from Jamaica. There's a lot of different other creative artists which are from Jamaica also. So we
Who's
try
your
to be
favorite?
very creative. What's
Do
that?
do you have a favorite one? Do you like someone? Do you work with famous artists? Like, does any
Uh,
famous rappers or like famous people from Jamaica wear your stuff?
no, I haven't gotten the opportunity to work with creative any other creative artists. But I do,
Might maybe in the future.
yeah, maybe in the future,
Okay, can you talk a little bit about like your situation with COVID and stuff? Like you just, I know you just did a show with Junior in Miami. What's your plans for the future? Like, what's like? Can you maybe you can talk about the like how the show went? Like, what do you like? What you don't like? Like, if anything, can you comment on this?
well, I I'm very limited on how many fashion shows I do right now because I'm focusing on my brand and my storefront to get my business, my physical business to another level.
Hmm.
It does require a lot of work because I have to physically be at the store 6 days a week, and I do everything myself. I sew, I produce everything. I sell myself. But in the future, and practically actually right now, I'm looking for to hire a seamstress to assist with producing more garments. The newly ready to wear collection that I just started late last year, I will require more work than the
Where do
usual.
you see most sales? Is it come from Instagram, from Facebook, from like physically people just walking in the street, coming to the store? Like where the major like, business comes from? Your
Well,
personal connections, your
according,
following, like who?
yeah, well, according to my storefront, when I open my store, I realized a physical location is better for me than an online business
You
because
can
of
have both.
the, yeah, I have both. I have had my website before I opened my storefront, but realizing that with high ticket price items like that sells less
Well,
online than physically in store.
how high price? Like $100,
Well,
$1,000, $1,000,000. What's
over
the
$1,000 dresses go over $1,000, like 1,200, 1,500, depends on the style, the ball gown. Wedding dresses usually cost way more. There are prom dresses too that require so much details with rhinestones and stuff that
right?
goes up to almost $1,000.
How do you get those prom dresses? Like right now, the season starts for the prom dresses, right? So we have a lot
Mhm.
of Sweet 16 productions, like when girls buying dresses. Like, how do you find? Do you go to schools? Do you go to the colleges or high schools? Like, how do parents find you?
Well, right now, most of my customers find me through referrals because I've been at my
Mhm.
current location for 4 years. So people have referred people year after year, sending them to my current location, especially for prom dresses.
Mhm.
So my biggest business comes from prom dresses. And that's most of through referrals and then Google. A lot of customers find me through Google.
What is that makes total makes sense.
Mhm.
What is the most significant part about the prom dresses that separates all the other dresses? Because I think they are very large, they're very expensive. Like like it's a once in a time, in a lifetime kind of event. So girls wants to look really, really good, beautiful, and to pick a dress is sometimes prom is more important about the dress than even the guy you go with.
Mhm. Yes, definitely the prom dresses, are more focused than the guys itself. These prom girls are looking for the royalty treatment when going to the
Mhm.
prom. They save their money up from like 2 years, 3 years before getting ready for their senior prom. So they will spend over $1,000 if they see something they want. Um, these prom dresses, my prom dresses, custom prom dresses starts at 450, and it goes up according to the style, the fabric, the details, and all that.
Okay, so let's go back to the lining of question that we agree. I take your way every time. I'm sorry, but you produce interesting information. I think for the viewers. So my next question is maybe you can share a story with the people that look at our interview. Maybe it's a funny story about prom dresses. Maybe a sad story. if you can get my audience laugh or cry or like, evoke some kind of emotion, it will help to connect with you as the designer.
Um, about a prom story or
Whatever,
over.
like I don't know, like which story did you plan to tell? Because initially, like I told you that that's what I'm gonna ask you, right? And but I think the market of prom dresses is so funny, so beautiful. I had cases when like a girl puke on her prom dress, and she has to buy the prom dress like pretty much in the middle of a prom. Like I was filming it, and she was like so nervous she couldn't eat anything all day. So when she ate, she like vomit everything over the dress. I what else of funny stories I got for the prom dresses? Uh, I had a story when like a girl went in the water in the swimming pool in the prom dress, and then she had to stay like pretty. We filmed the whole prom dress when she was kind of wet and dripping water from her. So which was actually very very beautiful. It's the material became kind of very wet, and with drops of water it was like sparkly. So
Yeah.
we felt like she was full of diamonds. So the whole dress was like very glossy. And so, look, I don't know, look, if you have I don't know, a sad story when someone falls, or like a funny story when it's funny for you or for the audience. Do you have any story
Well,
to share?
it's more.
About fashion, whatever the story maybe.
Well, it's more from a sad story to an happy story. I do have a couple prom girls that come in with a dress they got um,
Uh-huh.
from a website. Because, so many of these Chinese websites are out
Oh
there
yeah.
using original designers' pictures and knocking them off and then sending the knockoff to the
Yes.
customers. So I've gotten a girl that came in with one of those knockoffs before, and she was so devastated she can't believe how terrible the dress looked when she got it in. She's crying like crazy. Can you please fix this? Because I can't go to the prom looking like that. I basically had to tear apart most of the dresses and try to replicate it, not even replicate, to create something completely different to make her look so awesome. And she was happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Another one came all the way from Africa. Her dress came all the way from Africa, and it's one of those African inspired dresses where they use the African print to make the dress or African lace.
Uh-huh.
She got the dress in, and the dress was terrible. The bottom fits terrible. It doesn't accentuate her figure, and she's a curvy girl. So she's basically crying and saying, "Oh, I can't believe this looks terrible. I can't go to the prom like that." She's like, "Please fix it, whatever you need to do." So I told her, go to the fabric store, pick up the fabric. And she actually went out and bought her own fabric, came back with it. And at the end of the day, her dress looked 1,000 times better. She was so happy with it. I could see the difference on her face.
So alterations from the cheap knockoffs is a big deal. I totally can relate to that because, like, remember the old times when we filmed the fashion shows in the past before the
Mhm.
internet and stuff. The Chinese like guys here in New York, we had a whole bunch of showrooms for the Chinese companies. So what they would do, they would like photographers would take pictures of the models on the runway, and they would want like they would pay like $5 or whatever per picture. They want to buy that picture of the dress front and back so they can make it. And so they actually get to make those picture dresses faster than the original designer. So
Yes,
was able to make it. They ship the picture right back to China, and produced it right away. It takes a lot of guts to kind of take a risk and figure out look which one sells, which one not, because you don't know. But no, I dealt with those knockoff folks, yes, and
yeah,
we all buy from China, and we all look from the overseas, and we often see like what in the picture is comes like very different when it actually arrives in the parcel.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Let me take you to the next question that we agree upon, which is a life hack question. Uh, you, as the boutique owner, as a designer, do you have any advice for someone who, let's say, wants to open their own store, like a boutique, or for the people who wants to buy what, like a prom dress? Do you have any particular advice? Like, I don't know, like, don't open the store; it's too much work. Or, another, like, I don't know, like, don't buy from China the knockoff dress. Like, is there any life hack that you can share, like, that might be helpful for someone?
Well, it depends. If it's a fashion designer,
Pick one, like,
I say if it's your heart, go into it. But make sure you save up enough money for a startup cost. That's what I did, made a big mistake on. I got a deposit donated from my mom for basically the move in to move into the actual physical store. And I've been saving my racks and mannequins from before I opened the actual
uh-huh.
physical storefront. So I've been buying little stuff at a time,
Mhm.
with the intention of definitely owning my own store one day. Um, so basically, a startup cost would be a great idea to make sure you have enough, at least to cover at least 2 to 3 months, three
Mhm.
months the most. Um, 3 months the least. So, just in case, because your first couple months are going to be really slow because no one knows you're there. Unless your business is already established from like social media or a website, then you will definitely get your customers flowing in as soon as the doors are open. But make sure you have enough startup costs to cover you for at least 3 months because there's so much overhead cost involved in opening a storefront. There's the rent for the store, the light bill, the gas bill. Those are the regular bills. But bear in mind, you do want Wi-Fi, and you have to must get insurance for the storefront. Plus, there is additional taxes from the government where you have to pay city tax, property tax. So there's so much things involved in overhead for a storefront. So if you know you can't handle that much overhead, I suggest not jumping into something like that. But if it's in your heart and your dream to own a storefront, I say go for it. Go for it. Once you know what you're doing, you want to be a fashion designer, or you are a fashion designer, or you just want to open a boutique or a store, go right ahead. But make sure you buy quality stuff and unique items. So people are looking for unique and quality items while still being trendy.
Do you think the entourage, the outside look is very important so people can walk in, or like a sign doesn't really matter? Yeah, as long as you have good stuff inside, they will walk in.
Well, it
I
has
was I was thinking
it
more. Go ahead.
like outside of the store.
Yes,
Well, as soon as I got my storefront, within less than a week, I had to have my sign
on it.
because a sign outside that says the brand of the store
Right.
and what I'm selling. Because that's a great way to know for people or drive by or walk by to see the sign outside and definitely say, "Oh, that's cute. It's a bridal shop." Or I do have a decal on the window that says custom design. So they
Mhm.
know straight off the bat they can come in and get a custom dress. Or alterations, that's also on the window. Before I did not have the custom design and alteration signs, people were wondering, oh, it's just a bridal shop. They, just walk in and pick up a dress. While my store is a little different. My boutique is a fashion designer, custom design, made to order store. So when you come in, you will see some sample dresses available for purchase, but the majority of the business is custom design. So if they come in, they're looking to get their own custom design dress made from scratch in store, not from
So,
China.
gotcha. Any advice for the people who wants to buy the custom dress? Like, how do you pick designer? How do you, don't I now I get it. You completely against buying knockoff from China. Uh, but on one way, it provides a lot of clients for you because then those girls come and try and pay whatever
Yeah.
your rate is to alter or do alterations on the dress. Okay, so
Well,
go ahead.
if it's say it's a person or a customer that's looking to get a custom dress made, make sure you do your homework. Check out the designer's previous work to see what it looks like on a real person versus a mannequin. The quality of the work. It could also look nice in picture on the person, but when you check it out in person, the quality of the work is not great. So you're paying what you get. You're paying for what you get. So if the quality is not good, then you're not going to pay a high premium on the cost of the item versus a very good quality. You're paying a little better price because it's a better quality. So do
Okay.
your homework and make sure the person or the designer is qualified to make what you want.
I found out sometimes designers charge 5, 10,000 very expensive dresses, and they're not that great. And some designers with like modest budgets, like you, that charge only $1,000, might have a better quality than those guys. It's all about branding. They kind of built a big name, but it's the same material, same dress, like same stuff. So, not always the paying more money, in my mind, is associated with a better quality. But let me we can maybe discuss that. It's good to have some kind of conflict of interest and discuss it maybe in the next interview if we do get to make another one. My
Yeah.
last question to you is, what is your social media, like how people can look you up, and what's like how they can, where they can find the store? Maybe you can give the address for the store. Like, what do you think?
Okay, so my website is carlenelindsaydesigns.com, and the storefront is located at 429 Campbell Avenue, downtown West Haven, and the zip code is 06516. My social medias, I try to be on every social media, all the young entrepreneurs or young prom girls or, brides or all that is. So I am on Facebook. You can find Carlene Lindsay Designs on Facebook and Instagram, and it is Carlene Lindsay Designs. Um, TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest.
Like, which one is the
You
best
know,
one for me? I do also all of them, but for example, I love YouTube. I get 80 to 90% of all my business from YouTube, and Instagram and Facebook, all the other ones I have like less than 20% together. And the reason why I think it's the case is because YouTube does not require login. So even older person who doesn't have Instagram or Facebook, let's say they work for the government, they have some kind of restriction, they can't have TikTok on their phone, but YouTube,
yeah.
like anyone can click a link, you can do it incognito. So for that reason, I prefer YouTube as the main media for me. But look, where you get most of your business? Is it Instagram or Facebook? Like, which platform do you prefer?
In terms of social media, most of them come from Instagram because it's most of the prom girls are looking for prom dresses, and
Mhm.
most of them are on Instagram looking for dresses.
Gotcha.
So that's where most of my girls come from.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want me to bring Caroline back, uh, please comment, please write to us, please kind of give us a little bit of engagement, so that way we know that it's interview been helpful for you, useful, and maybe we'll do it like a week, every week or a month. So if Caroline gets a lot of dresses from that interview, a lot of clients, maybe she will call me tomorrow and say, let's do another one. If we don't get much business out of it, she has other better things to do with her time, and she will, like, pay attention to her real clients. So let us know if you want us to cover maybe some other subjects in the next segment, whether we can talk about more about prom dresses, or we can talk about having your own store. There are so many interesting topics that Corinne might give a hint and share her wisdom. Thank you so much, Colleen.
My pleasure.